and all the participants to receive good information. Lord, we pray for all those people who are sick and affected with this COVID, and also we pray for those who are taking care, fighting as frontline warrior for this COVID disease. Lord, we pray for our management. Thank you, Lord, for opening these ways for us to interact through this platform. We pray for all the facilities to be going very smooth, good power supply and good internet connectivity for all our students. Once again, we ask this prayer in the name of our Almighty God. Amen.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. Priya Matthew, Principal, St. Joseph's College of Education, to deliver the welcome address.
A very good morning to all. It's a moment of great honor and privilege for me to extend a very special and warm welcome to each one of you to this webinar. The world is fighting with one of the biggest pandemics, COVID-19. The lockdown that followed has brought the world to a grinding halt. Schools around the globe have been shut, leaving more than 1.5 billion students stuck at home. The virus has killed scores of people, disrupted supply chains, battered the industries, and thus the economy. If appropriate and timely measures are not taken, the crisis can multiply with unforeseen magnitude. Healthcare consultants, government decision makers, and institutions on ground level, as a result, have collaborated to generate real-time information and public awareness. The entire spread of the COVID-19 virus is spatial in nature, and location plays an important role in taking effective decisions. Geographical Information System, that is GIS technology, is used to understand the situation better and make informed decisions in a timely manner. GIS-based decision-making tools have been often used by epidemiologists and related agencies to study the pattern of past epidemics such as Ebola and polio. The comparative study through GIS can help us to understand and analyze the source and the pattern of spread of COVID infection. GIS can also be used to monitor the available facilities and plan interventions accordingly. COVID-19 confirmed and active cases can be mapped to identify the source of infection. Of course, now we realize that we have to learn to live in this world with this pandemic. This national webinar on the use of GIS surely help us to understand more about the concept of GIS and how to make use of GIS as a teacher in classroom teaching. Hence, it's a great privilege for St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore, in its Golden Jubilee year to host this national level webinar on the use of GIS in teaching geography in association with Center for Geoinformatics, Department of Studies in Geography, University of Mysore, which will help us remain connected through the current restrictions. It's my privilege to thank the management, especially His Excellency, Most Reverend Dr. K. Williams, Bishop of Diocese of Mysore, and Reverend Father Vijay Kumar, Secretary and Correspondent, Mysore Diocesan Educational Society, Mysore, for giving us this opportunity to host this event. A special welcome to our resource person, Dr. Ramu, Associate Professor and Coordinator of Center for Geoinformatics, DOS in Geography, University of Mysore, who will enrich us with the knowledge about GIS. On behalf of St. Joseph's College of Education, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Dr. Rekha HB, Assistant Professor, Center for Geoinformatics, DOS in Geography, University of Mysore, is also with us today to speak about how to make use of GIS in teaching geography. A hearty welcome to you, ma'am. I wholeheartedly welcome the coordinator of this webinar, Dr. Cheluraj Swami, Assistant Professor, St. Joseph's College of Education, Mysore, who took the pain and initiative in organizing this webinar, my fellow colleagues, and all the participants who have enthusiastically joined this webinar from all over the country. I extend a warm welcome to each one of you. Let us make use of this God-given opportunity, which in fact is the need of the hour. Let us collectively enrich ourselves with the practical knowledge that can be utilized to enhance the quality of teaching and learning. My best wishes to all. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of all the Josephites, we welcome you too, ma'am.
Thank you.
Today, it's an honor to have amidst us our resource person and the speaker of session 1, Dr. Ramu, Associate Professor and Coordinator of MSc GIS at Center for Geoinformatics Technologies, DOS, Department of Studies in Geography, Manasa Gangotri, University of Mysore. I take this task as a privilege of introducing Sir and share Sir's dedication, passion, and hard work to all of you present here. Sir is the author of Participatory Irrigation Management in Karnataka, India, published by UK-based Henson Editorial Services and North Staffordshire Limited in the year 2011, and has into credits nearly 23 papers published into reputed journals. Over 35 papers are presented in national and international conferences from roughly 2004 till date. Sir has been a host in organizing workshops at national and international level, including a few sponsored by UGC on topics such as scenario mapping, climate change, GIS and journalism, status of geography in India, remote sensing, etc. Sir has successfully completed research projects, both major and minor, on development of dry land and agriculture in selected villages of Nanjangud Taluk and water resource management of the Kaveri Basin funded by UGC. Sir has guided around 5 PhD scholars and has 26 years of research experience. Also, our resource person is associated with various professional bodies, namely National Association of Geographers, Deccan Geographical Society of India, and Union of Geographic Information Technologies. With an overlook on the teaching career, Sir is indeed an inspiration for have been teaching from 1997 till date, from being a lecturer at Mahajanas College, followed by assistant professor, the BOE chairman, MSc in GIS for Sustainable Development, DOS member, admission selection committee member for MSc GIS, to PG teaching MSc GIS, Manasa Gangotri, Mysore. Furthermore, Sir has trained and delivered special lectures on trends and opportunities in geography, monitoring information system, geospatial information system, etc. for students at rural and university levels, conducted by colleges from various states, renowned government sectors and universities. Regardless of a long achievement list of our speaker, we believe of making an effort to present few chief areas in the available time. Once again, we feel glad to have you, sir. I request the participants to send the queries in the chat box. Once the session is done, we will be asking sir about your queries on behalf of you. So please mute, and the call interactions or the message interactions can be through messages. Sir, we are very glad to have you once again. So over to you, sir. You can start the session.
the GS will going to and help for the society. So we are getting all the informations through the satellites. So we will take the picture through the satellite, then we will develop that mapping work first. So any area, country or small areas, then we will, on the basis of the requirement, if it is agriculture, forest and other things, we will make the changes, what kind of importance you need on the basis of the importance. So satellite image will going to give you the accuracy and variations, what kind of information you need on the basis of that glacier. So every year the glacier movement is very important. On the basis of temperature, the glacier melting, nowadays the glacier melting is very important for the present situation, because the glacier melting taking place, the sea level going to increase. The sea level going to increase, all the important cities located in the coastal areas. So if the coastal areas going to submerge, the all economy will going to disturb. Just a COVID-19, the whole world economy is disturbing. What about the ocean line going to increase? Ocean water will going to increase. So unimaginable problems. The rainfall variations will taking place. Somewhere is the heavy rain, somewhere is the, I think, drought. Somewhere is the breeze, somewhere is the flood, disturbing the society. So we will getting that this kind of mapping through the aerial camera, multispectral camera, radar satellite image, and the hyperspectral images. So after that, we will going to study about that. Where is the I think flood, where is the high intensity of flood, tsunami, and other things. So this GS and remote sensing. So take for example remote sensing. Remote sensing means without touching the objectives, we can get all kind of informations. What types of information you need, you can get it all the information. On the basis of your requirement, you can modify that remote sensing map. First, you have to register the map. Then you can change this on the basis of your requirement. Then you can go through that importance of remote sensing. So utilization in urban area, all kind of utilization we can use it. Transportation and utilization, upgrading the road maps. That's very important. Upgrading the road map means inside the city, how many, if we are going to extend the road, so 10 feet we have to extend, 15 feet we have to extend, means how many buildings we will, I think, extend these areas, how many land will go, how many, I think, money we have to give it back to owners, everything we have to calculate. Every year, there may be, you can take, for example, Bangalore-Mysore road. Earlier, only 2-way, 4 ways, 6 ways, 8 ways, it's increasing. So we can calculate easily inside the city, and upgrading that water line, drainage line, tax, and all the utility map. Easy to collect all the informations. Take for example, any crop, growing in the one area. So after that, how that area will going to change, land use change, and environmental aspects, pests and diseases, lake monitoring, hydrology, everything we can study on the basis of GIS and remote sensing. Next. Yeah, through the satellite image we can assess the earlier there is a in between Adam's bridge. So in Ramayana, Mahabharata, we are knowing about there is a bridge. We can identify there may be a bridge. Easily we can study that GIS remote sensing, we can get it. On the basis of that, first we will go to that Mysore KRS dam reservoir. The KRS dam, anything's happened, where the disaster will taking place, flood will going to taking place. This is very important. On the basis of elevation, we can study that. There is a model we can create where how many areas comes under the water. Everything we can study through the mapping. First, we will go to the forest and GIS. See, the forest and GIS is very close together. So nowadays you are seeing that everywhere fire. So last 2 years ago, I think there is a Bandipur forest, Nagaramale forest, and Brazil and Australia. So this forest is very important. So through the satellite, will give you the sudden information. There may be a fire, go and stop it. But our forest department should take care. Nowadays, forest department not taking it that much. That's why everywhere there is a forest fire. We can control, but so every year there may be a fire in the same place. Maybe we have to make the road, proper road to control. In India, I think difficult, and force members also very important. So very less members in forest department. Next. It's not moving. Not responding. In the forest area, every year, the forest area is decreasing. Decade-wise, forest area is decreasing. We have to study. On the basis of that decrease in the forest area. So because of that human intervention or forest fire and resorts and other purpose, we are using the forest, and animal movement we can study inside the forest. So we can study the movement of the animals. We can study the different types of the animals, birds and other things inside the forest. And in the forest area, how many trees are there? How many trees? So what types of species? So mature trees or not? So that's very important. So in Karnataka is very famous for the sandalwood. So how many sandalwood trees inside the Karnataka? We can see that. So tomorrow morning it will give the message, these many trees are missing. We can identify the things. So on the basis of that, GIS is very important for the forest areas. And go for the agriculture. So agriculture, so 50 years ago, the patterns, cultivation pattern is different. Today the cultivation pattern is different. 50 years ago, there is a, generally they are growing jowar, ragi and other things. Now the pattern is changing. They change into the commercial crops. So that's very important to study. So if changing into the commercial crop, we are introducing new types of pesticides. Any kind of pesticides is not supporting for the, I think, humus content. The humus content is decreasing inside the soil. So again and again you have to introduce that, I think, pesticides and new types of disease will also increasing. On the basis of that, patterns of the land use change. Land use change every year. There is a land use change. We have to see the land use change. On the basis of the land use change, we have to study. So earlier the Bangalore city areas, today the Bangalore city areas, tomorrow in what way, in what directions Bangalore city is moving. That is very important. So it's going the right way or not. On the basis of, we have to study the GS and remote sensing. Go to agriculture next. Forest fire. Go. Yeah, next. Go. I'll explain all. Next. Yeah, this one. This one. Yeah. Not playing. There is a model we have created. So forest fire, how the forest fire will going to increase inside the forest on the basis of the species and wind movement, soil characteristics, everything is very important to create this kind of models. How many hours it will take to increase the forest fire? Next. Next. So how to control the pest diseases through the GIS? So in the first month, the pest is attacked. So we have to control. If you are not going to control the things, I think next month the yield will going to decrease. So crop monitoring is also very important. Yield is also very important. On the basis of that, this kind of study is very important in the present study. Here, the crop acre estimation very important. So it will give that estimation, crop estimation also, it will give you all the details. So you can see here, I think, first month there is a pest attack in the agriculture area. So there may be around 5% damage. If you leave as it is 20 days extra, the 30 to 40% damage will take place. So it will assess every 10 days how much damage taking place in the areas. So if it is salt affected areas, the salt affected areas, we have to study that how to remove the salt from the land. Otherwise, we can't grow any kind of crops in that areas. Yeah, drone technology also very important to control the crop stress, crop estimations, and the pesticides, pest controls. If you go through that any land piece, and you can assess the yield in that land areas, we can make it that blue is high productive, and the light blue is medium, and the yellow is very low. So on the basis of that GS technology, we can assess how many metric tons we can receive in this crop. So this is medium and low. So this kind of high, medium, low, I think we can take any kind of one land areas, any kind of land areas, and study the land area, and we can assess the So in that land area, we can assess, we can predict that how many, I think, tons we can get it in that area. So one picture you can take through the remote sensing, irrigation problem in which area, and pesticide problem, soil deficiency, and disaster problems, all kind of problems we can study on that area. Just a picture, it will give you the yield details. Somewhere I think very thick, somewhere is no crops. In that area, I think totally it will give you the acreage yield in that areas. Switch on. Next. Yeah, on the basis of slope map. So you can easily identify that flood areas and the elevation, groundwater, everything we can study on the basis of slope map. Any recharge, watershed management, you are going to do all the, I think, dry land. In the dry land, I think, where the vegetative checks we have to take place. Where the, I think, check bunds, boulder bunds, all the details we can identify and we can construct that properly, and we can avoid that erosion process and increase the groundwater recharge. Next. Then we can go to that. What is GIS? That's very important. So GIS, Geographical Information System. GIS will going to give that the information about the place. So in this knowledge, what importance here means, we can input the data after that, we can store the data, again we can manipulate the data and analyze. So the comparative study we can do it place to place, region to region, and country to country. So any kind of data we can analyze through the GIS and remote sensing. Here, applications of the GIS. GIS will going to touch with all kind of sectors, not only one sector, all the sectors. Here we can make the layers in one map. Different people can use the different types of maps, and we can superimpose the map and study the same map in different. So here layers will going to take place. A street map, land use map, administrative map, hydrology map, all kind of maps we can do it through the GIS. Next. Yeah, what kind of information available in this GIS means you can unimaginable through the energy to management in between what kind of things will come. It will increase the crime. It will identify the crime, where the high intensity crime, where the low intensity crime, where the policing or patrolling will taking place, where the again one more police station we have to start. Everything it will be. And planning is very important. Planning is urban planning. In the urban planning nowadays, I think no city is planned city properly. No city is planned properly. So through the GIS, we can make the plan. Take for example, Bangalore. Early in 73, 92, 99, 2002, 2008, 14, and 17, 20. So in what direction Bangalore city is growing? Nobody knows. Is the right way or not? So through the map, it will give you. So it is the right direction or not. So in what direction it has to grow? Everything it will study to analyze each and everything. That is very important for the city growth. Nowadays, Bangalore city, inside the city, we are facing a lot of problems. Not only one problem, not only a water problem, not only a, I think food and other problems. Each and every problem is a big thing. So network also very important. So you can see that total station survey and slums. Slums is very important. The study of slums, people neglecting the slums. Everything through the slums only. Even all the economy depending on this through slums. All any kind of health hazards through the slums. Any kind of economic movement and industry depending on the slums. Slums, I think, in India is not properly maintained. Next, land use planning. When the land use planning properly be managed, So what type of land use we manage? Maybe in the agriculture area or urban areas. We are not managing properly. Through the GIS, it will give the guidance, but we are taking the guidance, but we are not managing properly. Inside the city, what kind of facilities we can take, where we are. So, where the hospitals. So, any accident occurs, suddenly just a click, it will show the hospitals, where the pediatrician or where other special doctors, heart specialists or any kind of specialist, they are inside the hospital or not. Every details you can, security part, lightning, public works, everything within a moment you can get it to the GIS. Next, distance. Again, distance. If any vehicle enter inside the city, so how many hours take into the market? How many hours it will take to come out from the market? That's very important. So that's why in big cities, the heavy vehicles will not going to enter the daytime. They will enter in the night only. They will give the prescription or timings to enter the heavy load vehicles. On the basis of that, so distance is very important to enter the cities and come back. So that's why there may be if the city is increasing, the market, we will locate the center on the basis of center place theory. We will, I think, start that new market surrounded by areas to control the busy schedule. Next, don't go. And we can go for the transportation. Transportation is also very important. Transportation also very important. So nowadays, where the, I think, national highways, state highways, and other highways. So how many, every year, how many kilometers we extended, how many kilometers, how much money we spent for that, nobody knows. So through the GIS and remote sensing, each and every meter, it will give the accuracy. So not only for that state highways. So local highways also, it will give you the details. Not only a local highways, inside the city, it will give you all the information. How many, I think, road extended and how much money we spend on that. So this is very important in urban area. Sometimes I think some people misuse that. So corporation fund or government fund, they will claim that money again and again in the same road. They are already repaired. Again they will take that money, be repaired, but only one time is repaired. That's very important. If it is using GIS and remote sensing technology, this kind of misappropriations will control. Water supply is very important. Water supply means drinking water or sewage water supplies, storms, hydrants. If any fire attacks, we are worried about the hydrants. Where are the hydrants? But the hydrants will going to just a click, it will show there are hydrants. Maybe inside the bush somewhere. We have to identify that. On the basis of that water supply control, each and every tap have the sensor. How many liters drawn in this tap today? Is pouring 24 hours means there may be a problem, we can control it. Not only for that, drainage. Drainage is also very important inside the city. That is very important for the controlling the drainage, capacity, everything. Next, improve the water conservation. That is very important for that report. So, sewage control and inside the city. Next, we will go to that storm waters and fire services, And next we will go to that inside the public works accessibility. Next. Yeah, this one is very important. This one is very important. Mosquitoes and GIS. Yeah, we are making the map, analyzing that mosquito problem. In earlier, 20 years ago, so mosquito bite is not a problem for us. Today, if there is a mosquito bite, I think we have to identify that what types of, I think, flu it will carry. So that's very important. So that's why we are creating the maps. So on the basis of that population density, mosquito population, mosquito density, and problems. If there's a high mosquitoes areas, we have to take care for that, controlling the mosquitoes. Transportation hazards, accidents. Often the area got the accident, we have to make the necessary problems. Next, we will go through that. So transportation and GIS, again, not only transportation means not only road transportation and train transportation, air transportation. Everything is including. So air transportation fully depending on the GIS and remote sensing. So where we are going to reach, where we are. So everything, if we are not going to get the signal, finish. The people will going to get the problems. On the basis of that, so go for that flood areas. We have the model, but can't show that models properly. Videos, beautiful videos. I don't know that what happened here. So we will go for that. So property mappings, where the areas, so parking areas, in big cities, parking areas very difficult. So we have to identify the parking areas and property mapping. If it is any kind of land sales or site and other things, we can just a click. You wanted to buy a house, just a click. It will give that all the details of the house, where, in which year they constructed, how much they are quoting, how many rooms, which areas comes from that. All the details we can get it through the property maps. These property maps, I think, very important to, I think, buyers and sellers. Next, tax. So we created the maps. Just a click, it will give all the details. Number, so house number, who is the owner of this house, and which caste, other number, ID number, is paid, I think, tax or not, door number, class, everything you can get. He paid the tax or not. The green is paid, the red is not paid. This kind of technology, very simple technology, but throughout India, they are not introduced. The land records, very important. In not only that, each and every city, still there is a lot of vacant sites. There's a big problem inside the city. Maybe 20 years, 25 years old sites remaining as it is. Nobody is taking care, corporation or any kind. I already informed that crime and GIS, we can make them beautiful maps where the high intensity crime, where the low intensity crime, where we have to control the crime, what types of crime taking place. That is very important. Accidental analysis, accidental spot is very important to control through the GIS. See, you can see this map through the accidental spots. So in our city, any kind of city, every year there may be a 5 to 10 deaths, but people don't know anything about it, because within an hour they will clear the road to for the traffic. That's why people don't know anything about that deaths, traffic deaths, accidental deaths. So we can get it through the GIS and remote sensing maps. And very important thing is GIS and electricity management. How many electricity is moving? How many, I think, units of the electricity consumption taking place, how many electricity remains, where is the missing taking place, everything you can get it. Pole to pole, there's each and every pole, there is a number. Any problem in this pole, I think GIS will give you the information, go and repair it. And the very important thing is GIS and heart attack. So it will manage that how many how many heart patients in US, how many heart attacks increasing, in which season it's increasing. So what's the reason for that? Everything GIS will going to study, and we have to take the measures. Cardiologists we have to appoint. Otherwise, if it is a high industry, stress will taking place. We have to avoid the stress. What kind of measures, what kind of relaxation to give for the industrial people? Everything we can study that. And environmental impact assessment to the buffer zone. So pollution, I think intensity we can study. High intensity, medium intensity, and low intensity pollution. Maybe air pollution and noise pollution and other pollution. All the pollution through the GIS, every decade we can change the, this kind of studies. And disaster management. Without the GIS and remote sensing, there is no disaster management nowadays. Take for the COVID-19. So in our area, in the city, you are locating somewhere. In our area, there is a COVID-19 positive patient. You don't know. Just a click, you can get it. Nearby your area, how many COVID-19 positive patients. Easily you can identify everyday updates through the GIS and remote sensing. Flood and GIS and remote sensing. Say low intensity flood, medium, high intensity flood. So on the basis of rainfall, the flood will going to increase. We can make that map on the basis of elevation inside the city. See, big cities located in the, I think, river basins only. Lot of cities located in the nearby that rivers. So how to control these floods? That's very important. So control the flood through that. We have that model. So every meter increasing, how many areas will cover? If it is 2 meter increasing or 1 meter increasing, how many areas will going to cover? If it is 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter, 5 meters increasing, that's very important to study. GIS will give you all the information. So often and often, again and again. But nowadays, the flood and GIS, the flood and tsunami, the flood inside the, I think, house, inside the city, how much it will give you. Here, there is a model, but I don't have, it will not support it. So not a problem. Next. Now, I think we have to study about that glaciers and temperatures. So increasing the temperature, the glaciers converted into rivers. So not only in our, I think, India, everywhere. So that's very important. Then go to the earthquake and the remote sensing. Earthquake, each and every earthquake, it will identify that. Intensity of the earthquake will identify that. Again and again means we have to taking care. Our lifestyle will going to change. Our building style will going to change. It is the high intensity of earthquakes. That's very important. Earthquakes, then go to that tsunami. So here this map will give you. So the tsunami center place somewhere in Africa. So how many hours it will take to reach Australia? How many hours it will take to reach in any other countries of the world? So every details we can get it in calculations. So before the tsunami and after the tsunami. So what kind of disasters taking place? That's very important. The satellite image going to identify that all the variations to analyze that loss and before the tsunamis, after the tsunamis. So what the economy will going to change, what types of problem will going to change. So we have to study all the GS and remote sensing techniques through this. So tsunamis, see, before tsunamis, center point of the tsunamis. So our basis it will give you, there is a model, but I can't show you that model here. So next we will go to that tsunami. Then where, come on. Next. Yeah, tsunami. Before the tsunami. Yes, next. After the tsunami. This changes, it vast all the yeah. This is how the model we can't show. Next. So next go. Can't move. So not a problem. So this kind of study we will go through that GS and remote sensing. Just identify that I think importance of the GIS, not only for the land use, not only for the agriculture, not only for the forest areas, and not only for the urban area, rural areas, and Jilla Panchayat. Nowadays, Gram Panchayat introducing so new kind of any bore wells. You today you are, I think, today one bore well here rigging, and how many meters inside the water you can groundwater study you can take, and after the 5 years and decade wise also you can study the groundwater pollution, groundwater availabilities, contaminations, river water contamination, ocean. Inside the ocean, fish population we can study, the coastal area. So without knowing that our coastal area, I think disturbing every year, that people don't know that disturbance, everything. So inside the ocean, the pollution of the ocean we can study, the election commission depending on the GIS, how many population in that areas, male and female, caste base we are calculating. So everything it will give you the accuracy. Which candidate we have to select. Everything through the GIS only we can get it. So on the basis of that, GIS is very important for all kind of. And unemployment, how many percent of the unemployment in state-wise? State-wise unemployment. So how to control that unemployment? So this is very important. I can give you a lot of I think the information, but the time is restricted. So here I will give you, there is a lot of GIS, I think every year we training a lot of students for the in our department, and each and every students before leaving the department in his hand more than 2 jobs he can select on the basis of the package comfort. So every year, so in the government organization and private organization, so lot of opportunities for the GIS and remote sensing. Nowadays, without GIS and remote sensing, no question of any other works. That's why we have a MOU with the foreign universities and the local universities. This is David Hood from Canada. So we have a, I think, MOU with that, and MOU with that Chennai universities and the Czech Republic universities and Bonn universities. Like that, we have that MOU with the people, and we have that course, MSc GS course, PG diploma course, and the PG diploma remote sensing separate course, PG diploma GS is separate course. We are planning to start MTech next year. So this kind of course helpful for that students for 100% job. That's very important. And the next session, I think, Rekha Madam going to give the talk about the relationship between the GS and the geography. How the inside the geography, how to use the GIS in cartography and other area. So thank you very much for the. Thank you, madam. How much?
Thank you, sir. The session was indeed an eye-opener to be aware of our diversity and possibilities to protect them, especially in this period of man himself being endangered. This session was significant to understand natural resource management and relevant human practices using GIS. Before we conclude, I request participants to interact if you have any queries. We already have few questions from Madam Kamala. So this is a question. Madam is asking, can you suggest the ways and methods to increase high yield in hilly areas where there is primitive method of cultivation?
Not hearing.
Am I audible?
How can we convert an infertile land into fertile one in city?
The question is from Madam Kamala. Can you suggest the ways and methods to increase high yield in hilly areas where there is primitive method of cultivation?
Fertility land to fertility land. So each and every variation, if there is a, I think, natural lawn or artificial lawn, we can identify easily through the remote sensing, I think, map. So we can identify that infertility land and fertility land. We can identify the infertility land through the GS and remote sensing, and we can convert it to fertility land. That kind of technology inside the GS and remote sensing.
Okay, sir. I hope Madam is comfortable with the answer. Next question is from Nirmala Mahesh. How can we convert an infertile land into a fertile one in cities, especially where we see most of the land areas are lying fertile?
I'm not hearing that.
Sir, I repeat. The question is from Nirmala Mahesh. Madam is asking, how can we convert an infertile land into a fertile one in cities, especially where we see most of the land areas are lying fertile?
So in urban area, fertility means first we have to go through the soil testing. There is a mission for the soil testing. So what kind of, I think fertility you need, that's very important. In the go to the agriculture area, we will identify that what kind of, I think, minerals are high yield varieties. We need that. So that is very important. Here in the urban area, we are not growing any kind of crops. So increase the fertility in urban area. So I think in which crop we are supporting for that. That's very important. We are not growing any kind of crop in the urban areas. So inside the urban area, we have to leave, I think, open space. Otherwise, to improve that, I think, park areas. So the park area is decreasing inside the cities. So where we will improve that urban area fertility, tell me.
manually. So filled with the concept.
Mapping.
Manually.
Yeah, yeah. First we started this soil survey department in Bangalore.
I repeat the question, sir. Vinisha Shivraman is asking whether the marking of the taxpayers, should the entries be made manually or is it reflected on the map?
File data. This person.
Okay, there were some technical issues. We will get back to Vinisha Shivraman. Sir, the next question is, Madam Kamala, am I audible? Yes. Another question is, what are the alternative crops that can be cultivated in cold areas? So the next question, I repeat the question. What are the alternative crops that can be cultivated in cold areas? Hope I'm audible. Okay, it's good that sir is using the chat box for some answers. Please refer to the chat box, dear participants. Okay, I hope we have no more queries. If you have any queries, you can drop it in the chat box. We will refer to it and the sir will be answering through the chat box or by live interaction. Thank you participants for patient listening, and it was a indeed good interactive session. Now we have Assistant Professor Yogesha K. St.Joseph's College of Education to take over session 2. And before we go to before we take over session 2, we'll take a 2-minute break due to some technical issues. We want others who are in the queue to join this webinar, sorry. So please wait for 2 minutes and we'll get back to you.
ಜಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್ದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ? PPT ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನು
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸೇರಿಸಿದೆ.
Welcome back, everyone. We'll move on to session 2. I now request Assistant Professor Yogesha K, St. Joseph's College of Education, to take over the session. Over to you, Yogesh sir.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good morning all. Those who are spending your precious time in this webinar during COVID-19 pandemic. Today I would like to introduce our resource person, the award winner of membership to academic excellence by Lakshmi Book Publication, Dr. Rekha H.V. Mysore. I would like to give you a brief introduction about Madam in few words. She has completed MA in Geography, MSc in GIS, BA, MPhil and PhD in Geography, University of Mysore. Here I would like to mention one specialty about Dr. Rekha. When I was checking her profile, she has passed with first class and distinction, and especially her PhD degree was in Geography, University of Mysore. She is an inspiration to all. Madam has presented and participated in national and international seminars and conferences. At present, she is working as guest faculty, Center for GIS, DOS in Geography, Manasa Gangotri, Mysore, University of Mysore. I welcome and wish you all the best. Thank you, madam. Over to you, madam.
Rekha ma'am, please unmute before you start. I request Madam Nirmala Mahesh to please mute. You can even stop the video. You're sharing your video. Yes, thank you. Rekha ma'am, am I audible? Rekha ma'am, we can see your screen is being presented. I request you to please unmute your microphone and speak to us.
Can you hear audible?
Yes, ma'am. You can
Yeah.
proceed. You're audible. Yes.
Yeah. So can I proceed now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah. So as I told you earlier, in the one-day national webinar, we are presenting a paper on this uses of GIS in teaching geography. So GIS, as we know that Dr. Ramu sir has already discussed what is GIS. So, and the importance of GIS and the fields or applications of GIS, sir has been detailedly discussed now. And now I just wanted to continue how this GIS can be used in teaching, because we know teaching is a very difficult task, because many students will be sitting in front of a teacher and we have a single person has to catch all their attentions, and the universal truth is no student can give their complete attention more than 8 minutes. So in that case we have to create more interest and we have to create more curious to students to get attention in our classes. And when we will get their attentions, definitely they are going to understand the concepts of geography and they will definitely understand the concepts and they can represent it in the exams and they can hold their all these informations in the memory for a long time. So with that, I just wanted to tell about GIS in one slide itself. So GIS, as we know, it is a set of tools written to or prepared to hold the data, spatial or non-spatial data, and do the editing and do the manipulating and do the analysis and to present whenever we want to retrieve the maps. Everything will be in the form of maps. The results will be in the form of map. So here the maps, as we know that geography is full of maps. Maps can tell lots of information which is not possible with 1 hour. If I am going to talk about population of Karnataka, maybe rainfall distribution of Karnataka or India, 1 hour if I give a lecture also, maybe some students or other people may not understand the distribution and pattern of the rainfall. But if you show a single map which can gives you where is the highest concentration of the rainfall or the population the concentration, where is the less, where is the moderate, what measures we wanted to take, or what kind of agricultural activities can be taken in that places, like that, it is very important. A map is a very important tool in the geography. So not only the map, the 3D maps or the simulation models, 2D maps. Lots of things are there in GIS where we can use lots of data and convert those into GIS data and prepare a maps, do lots of analysis. N number of analysis are available in GIS. We can do lots of miracles and the results can be shown as a maps. So if I'm sitting here in some place, if a minister is in the Delhi or maybe in the central places of their administratives, so if they wanted to take any hazards, if anything is occurred, if they wanted to take any decision, they can take immediately with the help of maps. So need not to come for here to survey and need not to wait for any time cannot be spent much on these things. So if I prepare a map, how the flood is occurring, what level the water is coming, how many villages are submerging inside the flood, everything can be prepared in a map and sent through the mail. Within a fraction of a second, the concerned minister can take the actions. So likewise, this GIS is very, very important for producing a map, and this is having the capacity of holding the data. 1 minute, I just wanted to take a pointer. Yeah, this lots of data can be integrated in GIS. We are not only preparing a one layer, we can prepare a multiple layers of the data in GIS, and we can do the lots of statistical and spatial analysis for that. And with that, we can prepare a maps as a result. And nowadays, we have a n number of apps which is providing users to use those apps and prepare maps by themselves. So then I'll come for a geography. As we know, the geography is nothing but it is a study of Earth, right? So in the study of Earth or a description of Earth means whatever we are seeing surrounding us, it is a geography. So whatever the forest, agriculture, water body, or the topography, what kind of environment you are going to see, everything can be mapped. So instead of telling the story, what is there, where it is, how we are going to use all those things, if you prepare a map for each and everything, and when you are discussing the geography in the class, if you are using those things effectively, definitely your teaching will be more technically, it is more advancedful, and it will be definitely useful for the students. So as we know, the earlier when we were studying in a geography, so we used to prepare lots of maps. The data should be collected from the different sources, and for preparing one map itself, it used to take lots of time. And whatever the theoretical part which the faculties were discussing in the classes, we need to take down all those things, and it was very difficult for us to understand some topographical concepts or geomorphology or kind of things which we felt difficult to understand without the map or without the models. So nowadays, the computer has been introduced to the classes, and all the classes have become e-learning classes. Now we have ICT or computer assistant learning programs. So through that, we can also use GIS, and we can give lots of lectures with the help of maps, simulation models, or 3D maps. So it will be very easy for students to understand the maps, so understand the geography. So how GIS is going to be work? So GIS, as we know that it is a software which is prepared to produce a map analysis of the data, any kind of spatial or non-spatial data. So here the first step is first whatever the base map you will get, that has to be scanned through the scanner, and it should be open in the GIS or remote sensing softwares. So in that will be in the form of maybe JPEG or bitmap or maybe the PDF maps. So those things have to be geo-referenced. So geographers are very much concerned about this geo-referencing. Without the geo-referencing, that means whatever the map, any location, how we will say it is not nearby the temple or nearby the road, like we are not going to say. We are going to say with the exact location. Location is nothing but latitude and longitude. So in that case, the first map should be georeferenced. So I'm georeferencing with the help of latitude and longitude, that you can take it from the GPS through the fields, or maybe you can take it from the Google Earth. So those GPS points can be used to georeference the images, and then we need to assign the projection. So when we georeference, that is called the GCS, that is a geographical coordinate system. And after that, because we need to project it, when we are preparing a map, it will be in the form of 2D. So in that 2D, we have a 3D globe, we convert into 2D, we have to give a projection. So in this, we have lots of projection based on your requirement, based on your area, based on the uses of the map. You have to choose the suitable projection, and then after giving the projection, you have to digitize it. So when you are digitizing it, whatever the feature you are going to see on the earth, everything will be in the form of point, line, and polygon. So in the vector, especially in the GIS software, whatever the extraction of information from the topo sheet or maybe from other things, so forest, agriculture, or any hospitals, or maybe the water bodies, river, we have many different things. But all those information can be digitized only in the form of point, line, and polygon. These three are the vector features. So when you come for the raster, it may be in the form of pixel. So here in the vector, we will digitize all those things as a point, line, and polygon, and then we will prepare a base map. Now our base map is ready. For example, if you have taken a topo sheet, from the topo sheet, you might have digitized the spot height, contours, hachures, stony waste, those kind of relief feature in one layer. Maybe in another layer, you will digitize all drainage, maybe the river, canals, or open wells, bore wells, like that. The polygons may be the agriculture parcels, or maybe the building parcels, like any polygon can be digitized. So with that, your base map is ready. Now this is called the spatial data. So with this spatial data, if you wanted to do the analysis, maybe you may require some more data. That is a additional data which we call spatial or maybe non-spatial data. For example, if you wanted to prepare a rainfall map, so you have prepared a point as rain gauge stations in a base map. So for those stations, you have to add the rainfall, whatever is occurred from last 10 years. So that is called joining a non-spatial spatial data or non-spatial data to the rain gauge stations. So maybe 10 years data, or 20 years data, 50 years data you can add. And with that, you can prepare a thematic maps, annual wise or seasonal wise, how you wanted to prepare, how you wanted to do analysis. Based on your requirement, you can prepare the maps. So along with that, so lots of analysis can also be done. So with the analysis, finally your output map will be prepared with the map elements. As we know that elements are the heading, north arrow, the data which you have used. Scale is very, very important in GIS. So with all these things, if you prepare a map, this is GIS map. So this you can publish it in your internet, or maybe you can use it for your class purpose or anything. So applications of GIS on geography teaching. So where we can use these maps, or where we can use the models or maps or queries, how it is going to be useful in the classes. See, maybe you may be talking about the different location of the world. So where it is located, what is the capital of America, what is the capital of China, maybe the India. So where the primary cities are located. Instead of telling it is located in Delhi, primary city of India, so like that. So what you can do, you can use the digital maps or Google Earth map which is available. So there you can find out the cities. When you type a name of the cities, definitely will get the location of the city, which is the capital of all the countries. Maybe tourist spots. So where the Mysore is located, where the Bangalore is located, or maybe where the Nandi Hill is located. Likewise, you can find out lots of tourist spots which is near to you, and also you can find out which is the nearest route, which is the good route, traffic route. Likewise, you can use it very easily. It is a handheld mobiles also can be used to track all these kind of informations. And this, all the students can also operate it. So like, you can use a simple your Android mobile to show all those details, and you can use it easily in the class. And mapping. So mapping, you may ask a question, we are all come from different backgrounds, we don't know the GIS software, how we can prepare the map like that. So as open softwares are available, even the tutorials are also available. You can use YouTubes are also available, how to use those software. The small GIS softwares can be used and prepared lots of maps. Sometimes a GIS data is available on the internet. You can download it and you can show the students. For example, geology and soil, all the geographers cannot be created because soil should be surveyed and geology should be surveyed, and then based on the surveyed information we need to prepare a map. And that is, we don't have a time because our work is to teach in the classes. We don't have time to do all these surveys and prepare the maps. So in that case, what you can do, you can use the internet and you can download the data and you can show it in the classes. So even the land use land cover map, forest cover map, all those kind of maps can be used in the classes to explain how is our soil geology, land use of the particular places. And queries. So whatever data is behind it, this is the beauty of GIS. So here, when you have a hard copy of a map, only you can show the map, right? So we have a wall map, we have a globe. So all those things can be used as a hard copy. So when you wanted to show something else, when you wanted to do some queries, because in the globe, if I ask any one city where it is located, same name place may be existing in two, three places. For example, some village, maybe it is Kalhalli or some I have a village name, it may be existing in different places. While you have the query system in GIS, there you can ask the questions. Show me the place which is near to you. For example, if you wanted to go for a palace, Mysore palace. So where is the palace? So how much kilometer it is? And maybe you can ask, show me the places which are having rainfall more than 50 millimeter. Or you wanted to query to the soil map or geology map or any other kind of attribute data, if whatever you have. Based on all those data, you can do queries, you can ask the questions, and result will be in front of you within a fraction of a second as a result of map where you are finding those places. And analysis. In the analysis, we have a statistical and spatial analysis. So where you can do lots of analysis using GIS tools, and those will be presented as a maps. And change detection. So when we are showing a change detection, land use, land cover, or maybe forest, 50 years before how much forest was existing, now how much is existing. So we have a deforestation. Why it is occurred? Deforestation occurred due to many factors. There may be a loss of rainfall, there may be a loss of the temperature might have increased, or environmental conditions might have changed, or maybe due to human interference, maybe he has cutted the forest or trees. So we have many reasons. All those reasons can also be identified to the change detection. What are the factors that is influencing for these changes and what remedies we can give. So how to afforest the area. Likewise, you can give lots of information using the maps, also gives the causes and remedies. So forest, as I told you, the inventories of forest fire. So forest fire, somewhere in the forest, we know that Bandipur forest fire, every summer we will be experiencing. So how this forest fire sometimes it occurs naturally, sometimes it occurs due to the man-made reasons. So why it is, how it is going to spread? In which time the forest fire is going to be start. If immediately, if we control that fire, definitely we can save the forest. So likewise, how we are going to identify. I have all the maps in the further slides. I will show you. I just wanted to give a brief introduction about how GIS can be used in the teaching. And in the water, in the water sector, hydrological mapping, maybe surface water or groundwater can be mapped. The quality can be mapped, how much quantity is available in one tank, or maybe the groundwater levels, everything can be mapped. So quality assessment, what is the quality and how it is influencing by the surrounding factors. Maybe it is located near to the solid waste dump or maybe the industrial outlet. So how it is influencing, last time we have seen that Kengeri and Rishabhavati cases, the vegetables grown from those areas are also have contaminated. So likewise, we have to see the quality and watershed management and monitoring. So watershed have lots of problem, how the water can be used for, or water can be increased in the water development programs for agriculture purpose, how we can manage the available water for the agriculture. All those things can be easily monitored through the GIS. Not only that, so watershed area, how much it is. So earlier what we used to do, being a geographers, we used to take a topo sheet to extract the watershed areas. I still remember when I was doing my masters in geography, one of the PhD scholar, he was extracting the watershed through the topo sheets. I remember continuously 2 years which we were there, that completely 2 years he was just keep on extracting the streams from the topo sheet. But nowadays we have a GIS software, need not to spend much time on extracting watershed or drainage system from your topo sheet. So you can easily digitize from the softwares which is available, and automatic digitization is also there, semi-automatic digitization is also there. You can use anything, and within 1 or 2 months you can completely digitize your watershed area, drainage, streams, order, finding out the drainage frequency, sinuosity index, irrigation management. All those things can be easily mapped and managed using GIS softwares. So if you have all these GIS maps in your classrooms, you can show those things, how we can use all those things. So it will be more impacting on the students to get more knowledge about these things. And drought monitoring and management. Drought may be different kinds of drought. It may be a hydrological drought, it may be a meteorological drought or agricultural drought. So it could be anything. But what are all the influencing factors? Drought, suddenly it cannot occur. Maybe when you are saying a hydrological drought, it may be because of the reduction of the rainfall. So why rainfall has been reduced? What is the reason? So you should understand. So to understand those things, all this GIS environment will help you to find out the influencing factors, so which is caused to reduce the rainfall. So likewise, you can do lots of things in GIS, rainfall mapping, annual and seasonal and temporal variations of rainfall, and site suitability for dam construction, and water harvesting planning and management. So nowadays we know that rainfall everywhere. As per IMD, the rainfall is not reduced in Bangalore city, but still we have a problem of rainfall, because the rainfall pattern completely, it has been changed, scatteredly distributed over the year. In that case, what we have to do, we have to go for water harvesting. So where we can do the water harvesting? One is roof harvesting, is everybody can do. Even 30 by 30 or 30-40 houses also can be implemented their rainwater harvesting. But when surface water harvesting, you have to find out where the place which is suitable for harvesting. So you have to take a digital elevation model where the water is going to be accumulate, from which is the highest elevation, from surrounding places, what is the watershed for that particular tank which you are going to plan. Likewise, all those things can be planned properly, and you can decide where the site suitable for harvesting. Even for the dam also, we can do like that. Agriculture. So mapping and monitoring of agriculture land uses, how much area was under agriculture, different crops, and how it is decreasing, or maybe it is increasing, or if it is decreasing, on which land it is going to convert. Maybe we are seeing everywhere agricultural lands are going to be converted into barren lands. After some time, it may be converted into new layouts or the built-up areas. So why it is happening? It is all because of the demand for land, and whatever the agriculture production is also going to be reduced. Because of those, the even farmers are losing their interest. and they are going to sell their lands. So in that case, how we need to manage these things? If everybody is doing the same thing, means in the final stage, we will not have any agricultural land to get the foods. So likewise, we have to see each and every problem in every sector, and we need to find out the solution for it. So back to pavilion, we are listening that back to pavilion, lots of people are coming from foreign or the city, they are going back to their natives and they are doing the agriculture, and that too the natural farming and all. So we have to see the impacts or the why it is happening. So all this crop stress, health monitoring of each crops, whether we'll get the good production this year or maybe they have problem. So crop acreage estimation, crop suitability. So which land is suitable for which crop? All see whatever the land, if I have 100 acres of land, so I cannot go for only paddy, or I cannot go for only the jowar or any other kind of crops. So we should go for multiple crops which suits the land. Every bit of the land is going to be changed. In that case, we have to go for soil testing, and based on many things, so the climatical conditions, sunshine, evaporation, all meteorological conditions should be taken into consideration. Based on that, you have to decide how this soil or the land is suitable for the particular crop. So likewise, whatever the problem is coming in agriculture can also be identified using GIS, and and also we can give the solutions for it. And planning. When we come for the planning, regional, urban, local plannings can be done. Any region, if the government wants to develop as a commercial area, as maybe the recreational areas, how would whether the soil, geology, environment, whether it is supporting or not, they should understand first. Even for the urban, where there should be a new layouts. So any local planning for the utility or any other things. So GIS will help you how the existing land use patterns are there, where you can plan, where you will get the suitable land activities. Everything can be monitored, managed or identified through the GIS, and you can go for a good planning. If you have a geographical knowledge, it is really definitely will help you to find out the better usage of the land. So that is why GIS is a powerful tool where you can use it for the planning. And when you come for the ocean or the coastal applications of GIS, so ocean water, the level of water, the color of water will show you the quality of the water and the depth of the water, temperature of the ocean water, salinity and currents, phytoplankton, which is helpful for the fishing, and potential fishing zones will be used all this, the parameters, and based on all these parameters, it will give the potential fishing zones where you will get the good yield of the fishes. So bathymetry, which is a topography of the sea floor, that can also be identified using a raster images, satellite images. Radar satellite will help you to find out the bathymetry of the ocean. And tides, cyclones can also be predicted. Even the environment also be monitored through the how the temperature is going to be changed in the ocean and the land bodies, how the cyclones will be forming, what is the speed of that movement of the cyclones, how the cloud is forming, how much rain we are going to get this year. Everything will be predicted through the GIS models. And coastline, as we know, it is a coastal dynamic we can call. So a coastline is not a constant line. It is going to be changed based on the sea level. If it rises, coastline will come inside the land. If sea level goes back, that means it reduces, the water will go back and the land will be open to the environment. So that line of the coastline can also be monitored, whether it is eroded or maybe it is accreted. So like it can be monitored and change detection of this line. And ocean tides, hazards, lots of earthquakes occurred in the ocean, which causes a tsunami and all, how it is affecting, how much time we have, all those information can be through the information system, we can calculate and we can get aware of the people to save their lives. So that is why GIS is very important. And information system. So we have lots of information system, as I told you, hazard information system, tourist information system, resource information system, tsunami alert information system, like n number of information system we have. So that can be created using all data, and a system, complete information system will be ready to use. So you can use any tourist information system in your mobile app itself. You can show the students what kind of places you can visit as a geographical tour, or which is their interest. So likewise, and which is the nearest, which is working within your economical status. So all those informations can be calculated, and where the nearest hotels are available, the nearest places which is helpful for your shopping, or the ATMs or hospitals nearby, and shortest route, all those informations you will get it in one information system. Likewise, we have many information systems you can show to the students, and you can also create awareness of all these things. Hazard mapping, landslide, flood, drought, earthquake, volcano, cyclone, tsunami, all those things which is hazard, we cannot expect it. Suddenly it occurs. It may be due to some man-made activities, or maybe due to some natural causes. So whatever. So these risk zones can be identified using the GIS. So I have the maps. I will show you in the next slides. So topographical, we can use satellite images, SATM data, or any DEM digital elevation data, Cartosat DEM, or maybe Aster DEM. So you can create a contours. Now in the topo sheet, we have 20-meter interval contour. So if you want 1 meter interval, because 1 meter is also matters. So if 1 meter elevation is changed, means water flowing area may be changing. So in that case, you wanted to prepare a 1 meter contour, means you can use a satellite image and prepare a contour. Spot heights, dam, watershed, 3D visualization of the watershed. So all these things will create an interest for the students. So they will also use these softwares, and they can see how the watershed will look. What is the sun angle, and different elevations can also be focused and introduced to the students. So 3D mapping, flood, how much water is coming in into the stream, how much water is going to be increased in the stream. So due to this increase of water, how much agricultural land, how much built up land is going to submerge in the water, how much is affecting. So all these informations can be identified through the GIS, and which will help you to give the claim the insurances and all. And the 3D models can be created. It will be very easy to understand the students how flood is affecting. And the simulation models for flood or urban expansion, all those things can be done. So this is I just added because I heard that in high school there is a latitude, longitude, and some projection that I just wanted to tell here. So all this latitude and longitudes which is existing here are very, very important in GIS. Without latitude and longitude, GIS will not work definitely. Otherwise, it is called as a picture. So as we know that it is a equator, latitude and longitudes are here. So here, after giving, this is called as GCS. So this is called as GCS, and then I just wanted to introduce you, this is projected coordinate system. See, this is a globe where we have a longitude and latitudes. This is called GCS. So this is globe is a 3D. So when this 3D is going to be converted into 2D, that is a PCS, that is projected coordinate system. So this is very important in GIS. So when we are converting globe into 2D form, right? So this latitude and longitudes are going to be placed. So here lots of error will come, as in the real, I will show you here, the distortion of the places, or maybe the distortion of the places. See here. So all these things are having equal size of circles, or maybe this is a equal size of circles, and this is slightly increased in the size, and this is completely increased. So it is a bigger than this. So in that case, the area have been distorted or enlarged. So this kind of problems will come. That is why we have to choose a suitable projection for the area. And in general, for equatorial region, we have to go for cylindrical projections. For the polar regions, we have to go for azimuthal projections and conical projections for the subtropical zones. And this is very important that maps at a varieties of scale are used frequently as a matter of routine and or on instinct part of learning in geography. See, instead of telling that, where as I told you earlier, so you can give a GIS maps to the students and they can explore themselves. So they will enjoy the class and they will be more interactive in the class. Definitely your class will be more interested. So students are also self-exploring or self-learning will be more influenced than the teaching. And we have a smart mapping where you can use lots of data. Here the earthquake map has been mapped using a GIS software. Based on the intensity, the circle size has been increased. You can see here how the distribution of earthquakes in the America, USA. And open source softwares are available where you can explore the different locations, maybe the oil wells. Here it is given as examples where the wells are located. And the mobile applications, when you wanted to do the survey. So earlier we have survey methods. I hope that in the degree we are going to teach a chain survey, plane table survey, prismatic compass survey. So all the theodolite survey, all those things. So here we have lots of other survey methods in GIS, drone, we have aerial photography, we have satellite images. Apart from that, we have a mobile, Android mobile, where you can get the lots of mobile applications. You can use it for tracking your road. You can create a new road. Suppose if this is a new road, so if the data is not there in your map, so you can use your mobile, just click, keep on taking a lat long from here to here, and automatically you can prepare a map. So likewise, lots of mobile applications are also there in GIS that can be used. So this is also an earthquake map. If earthquake is located here, how much it is influencing the intensity of the earthquake or the distribution of its effect. So how it is going to be changed from its center of or core of the earthquake. So like you can show and even find out the causes why it is happening here. So causes can also be, and this is, as I told you, the bathymetry of the sea floor. So how the topography of the under the sea, which is here, and you can find out why it is happening, the earthquake here, what is the geology, what everything can be found out from the software. And this is the tsunami. When earthquake occurs under the water body, usually we will expect the tsunami. So higher altitude, higher waves will come, higher levels of the waves will come. So which coast is mostly affected? What is the danger spot? See, if earthquake is occurred here, so this is the most dangerous place where the tsunami can hit the coast. So the intensity of that is going to be reduced from here to here, you can see. So how it has been reduced. And as I told you, GIS will be used for mapping purpose. All kinds of maps can be used here, and all data can be used. And the cartographer, earlier there was a age, only cartographer used to create the map or geographer used to create the map. So nowadays, everybody can become a cartographer. If I am not a good artist, then also I can become a cartographer because I have a software. So with the help of software, if you learn some basic tools, you definitely can prepare your map. So digital maps are also available. You can download those maps. You can add some data. You can save your time. Lots of maps can be updated. And this is another example of map, accidental hotspots. So where is the highest vehicle movement, in which time the most accidents occur. So the data has been collected from the field, And based on the kernel density here, the accidental hotspot have been identified. Wherever you are finding a red color, it is a more dangerous places. So when you understand that this is the more accidental space, you have to put some board with this because this is the accidental hotspot, or maybe the humps or speed reduction of the vehicles. You can plan for many things to reduce the accidents in these places. And planning for urban, as I told you, a new area where it should be. Suppose Bangalore is growing too much, and the next upcoming demands for the land is also there. So in that case, where we can plan nearby the places are, if any nearby places is not available, we need to make some alternatives as a satellite city or something. As we know that some people are talking about Mysore can be a satellite city of Bangalore. So where we can give, already Mysore is also growing. So where the new built up area can be placed and how it should be, the city, how it should be. So you can create completely 3D model and you can show like this. We can prepare one city, or maybe where we can provide a space for a recreational or parking spaces, or maybe the park or commercial spaces or residential spaces or agriculture. Likewise, you can plan completely, including the utility cables or utility facilities for the city. Everything can be planned properly using GIS and can be implemented. So all foreign countries are using this kind of technology to plan their urban areas. And transportation. So what kind of transportation network we have? The road network. So what is the width of the road? What is the quality of the road? We have, whatever is existing, which is the shortest route for the particular places. So all those things can be identified using a network analysis. Environmental impact assessment. When we say environment, all the things will be together. So you can add temperature, rainfall, forest or land use, land cover, topography, soil, hydrology, everything together. You have to see what is the environment, how it is going to change. By environmental impact assessment, you call it as a EIA. So with all these factors, how environment is going to be changed? Environmental is not a single factor. It is a multi-variation, multi-dimensional factors. So it is having lots of influences to change the environment. There may be industries, there may be a human activities or agricultural practices problem, or whatever it may be, how it is going to be changed the environment. The impact can be assessed due to which factor the environment is going to be changed. And you can see this example map. It is an air pollution map of the world, where you can see the high pollutions here due to the cities. So we have a Delhi, a Kolkata, Bombay. Here, like based on the population and the vehicle density, the air pollution is also going to be matters. Agriculture. So in the agriculture, different agricultural land uses can be mapped. Yield or stress of the crop, all these informations can be mapped using a satellite images. So each land parcel, see, can you see here this box? The farmer name, plot number, ID, area, how much land he has, type of crop which is growing in this particular year or particular season. Maybe in the next season he can change the crop. So likewise, each and everything can be mapped using GIS. And disaster management and mitigations. See, when I have taken a flood disaster management here, for identifying a flood, lots of factors are taken into consider. So here rainfall taken, slope of the area is taken, elevation is taken, soil distribution is taken because soil is also matters, and drainage density, the stream density and all, and population density. AHP method has been used, and finally the result came like this. So here it is, the red color shows a very high flood affected areas, the green shows a very low affected areas. So like the results can be shown in the form of map in the GIS. So when you show like this, the student will understand easily how all these factors are influencing to show the flood. So this is a landslide. As I told you, the same digital elevation, land use, land cover, slope, pre-landslide places, everything will take consideration, and based on that, landslide prone zone can be identified. So like the red patches where you are going to see here, it is all high landslide risk zones. So green is because it is a flat area, we have a very less landslide prone zones are here. And this is a land use land cover mapping. You can see from 1973 to 2020 how the Bangalore land use land cover has been changed. This red patch is a built up area, and how this blue is the water body, how this green is the agriculture, how these things have been changed temporarily. You can see, instead of telling that Bangalore is developed like that, so you can use these maps from 1973 to this year 2020, how the built up area have been changed. When the built up is going to increase, the remaining land uses, water body, agriculture, open space, forest, vegetation, all those things have been reduced. And completely this Bangalore urban is become a red patch. That is a completely full of built up area. So there is no space for agriculture, there is no space for water, all these water bodies under stress, and this will be polluted water. And we know that earlier Bangalore is surrounded by 5 rivers. Now we have only one river which is existing, that is Rishabhavati, which is a Bangalore used water or grey water, which we call, that is flowing in the Rishabhavati river. And the navigation, so as I told you, you can use the mobile apps, we can easily navigate, which is your target. If you are standing here, this is your target, how you can, which is the good road, or maybe the shortest road or traffic road, everything you will come to understand. If you go to any wrong route, it will guide you through the voice. If you are switched on the voice, it will tell you you are in the wrong route, you have to take right or left turn, like that. Flood damage assessment. So using the rainfall data, slope data, all those information, lots of factors are influencing for this flood. So using all those things, we can estimate the flood simulation model. This is a flood simulation models where these areas are more affected by the flood, and this is the lesser affected, and these are the white patches are not having any flood effect areas. So like you can prepare and you can show the students through based on the elevation and based on the river system, how it is going to be changed. Hello? And natural resource management. So lots of resources are there, forest, mining, petroleum, natural resources, all those things. The information system can be created, what kind of resources are available, what is the quality of the resources, how much available, all those informations are there. So that also can be used in the GIS that is created by the GIS software. And even banking, where is the bank locations? What is the branch name? What is the location? How much transaction it is having? And what is the nearest banks? Like that, all the informations can be created using a GIS software. If you want to go for a new bank, if you want to start a new bank, where you can start? If you start here, you will get the benefit or not also, the GIS is going to give the answer. Soil map. So as I told you, the pedologists are going to be survey the soil, and based on the soil surveyed information, the soil map can be created using GIS. Land information system, a complete land. Suppose if you say your village or maybe your city, a complete land information system can be created for topography, soil, vegetation, meteorological conditions, land surface status, and surface water bodies. All the informations can be added in one land information system. If you want to plan for that particular land, you can open this information system and you can ask the queries, you can plan for it. And the surveying, earlier we were, as I told you, some chain survey, maybe the prismatic compass survey, theodolite survey used to do. Nowadays, the surveying technology have been also changed. We have a GPS, GNSS, using those things also you can take a lat long, and the total station is available, satellite is available. a drone is available, aerial photographs are available. All those things can be used on mobile survey. Mobile survey is also available, used in the system, and you can prepare a map. And update, if you ask the students to prepare a small, their house map itself, it will take too much time. So instead of that, if they have a mobile and with the help of this softwares, so they can go for 4 corners of their room and they can prepare a lat long of that, and they can join that lines as a room dimension can be created. So it is easy for the students to use. And it is a geological map. And this is how the coal mine fires have been mapped in the GIS field. And this is tourist information. As I told you, transportation, roads, city guidelines, attractions nearby the cities, and hotels, nearby good hotels or accommodations, or the ATM, health centers, where the nearbys are available. You will get through this kind of information. And irrigation. So how currently under how much area is under the irrigation. So new plannings, if any or any new canals can be planned. So all those things can be identified through the GIS and mapped. So forest fire equipment response. Immediately in the forest, natural causes may be there or maybe man-made causes. Immediately, if any fog is identified by the satellite, it will give alert to the sensors which is located in the offices. So immediately it will give warning attention for the user, and they can come immediately identify the location, and they can give a solution or to fire the things. This is the fire risk map. And this is a worldwide earthquake information system, wherever the currently earthquakes are active. And this is a volcanic. So here the GIS-based platforms enables to find the damage or the rapid response for the volcanic activities. How to rescue the people and all can be easily identified. And this is the potential fishing zone identification based on the temperature, phytoplankton, salinity, all those information. So this is the maps were prepared. So where you can find the red patches, it is a more potential fishing zones. So here are very less. And this is a reservoir site selection. As I told you, the dam can be taken. This is the highest elevation. From here, the water is going to accumulate here. So when this is accumulated place, you can plan for the reservoirs here. So like that, 3D visualization of each watersheds, it's all the micro watersheds. You can visualize how the 3D looks. And this is the reservoirs, and you can estimate how much water can be stored in the reservoirs. This is the watershed analysis. From the digital elevation model, you can extract the watershed, and you can also extract the drainage or streams. And stream orders can also be identified using GIS software. We have different methods also, Strahler's and Horton methods. So this is a watershed analysis, bifurcation ratio, or the length of the stream. All those things can be identified, calculated easily in the software. Forest fire hazard mapping. And this is a traffic density, in which time the traffic density is more, can be mapped like this. So with the help of this thickness of the line, you can identify which roads are having a most traffic density, vehicle density. Deforestation. If you have a temporal data, you can identify how the deforestation is taking place in different places. Temporally, you can identify it. So space utilization. So in the city itself, so you can plan for a different spaces, and you can plan for utilization. And this is a desertification, how the fertile land is going to be converted into desertification. So due to different factors, the final maps will give you like this. This is the desertification vegetation index. Based on that, you can find out all those things. Utility mapping, all the connectivity lines, telephone lines, or water supply lines, or communication lines can be mapped. site suitability for water treatment or site suitability for dam construction, agricultural land suitability, all kind of suitability can be identified using GIS software. And this is the geology mapping. Infrastructure can also be planned, coastal development and management. Crime can also be mapped using GIS here, where the crime is occurring more, where it is less. So why it is concentrating here itself, whether the population causes or maybe the light facility, or what is the reason. Reason can also be identified for the crime analysis. And you can take action to reduce the crime rate. Regional planning, so with the help of all the spatial layers, so you can plan for the region. Snow cover mapping and runoff estimation can also be done using a GIS software. So based on the digital elevation model and the height, you can predict where the snow is going to be deposited in higher altitudes. And this is a runoff estimation. So wildlife can also be tracked using a GIS, that is a GPS. Caller IDs are available. If you insert these caller IDs to the animals, that will send the signals to satellites where the animal is moving. If the camera is also fixed here, GPS camera, so where it is moving and what the food it is taking, what is the time pattern of the food, what is the lifestyle of the animal, everything can be identified, and the satellites will send the signals to the system. They can keep monitoring all those informations. And this is a flood simulation model, as I told you, using a dam and rainfall, all those things. We can create a simulation model where you can see the flood. Can you see here? This is the higher altitudes, the water accumulated. This is the flood. So how much area, if you overlap the cadastral map or maybe the satellite image over on it, so you can identify which are the places are going to be submerged or the land uses are going to be submerged. So this is about how GIS can be used in all different places. And if you are using all these maps in your class, definitely the students can get more interest and more curious, and they will also understand the geographical concepts easily. And that is my intention. I hope this session was useful for you. Thank you. If any queries are there, please let me know. Hello?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rekha ma'am. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a clear-cut presentation about reading and referring the technological versions of geographical studies, significance of GIS applications, use of digital maps for digital classrooms, the local planning and patterns available, survey method, and many more. Now let's move on to some queries.
Yeah, sure.
We have a question from Vinita Ritish. Is there any app for GIS that can be used in Android?
Yeah, many apps are available for surveying. We have GPS apps. We have. You can freely download from the Google itself. They can use it for the surveying work.
Okay. The next question is from Nirmala Mahesh. How can we use GIS for better natural disaster management?
It is a good question, actually. Natural disaster is a very important. Nowadays, we are seeing that flood is occurring, landslide is occurring, or maybe the tsunami is occurring, right? So we have an information system, which I told in my class, my PPT presentation. So there we have a lots of spatial layers, different layers. So which is going to give you the information. For example, landslide. So landslide, recently the Kodagu has experienced lots of landslide. Do you remember, I think?
Yes.
So it is not because of the natural reason. Because earlier there was a natural vegetation covered in the Kodagu. Nowadays, what is happening, everywhere the illegal encroachment of land is taking place, and whatever the natural vegetation was there, that was completely removed, and there were artificial vegetation is growing. That means a coffee plantation or other plantation is taking place. So natural vegetation will hold the land properly. It will not allow the soil or mud to move from one higher altitude to the lower altitude. So when the coffee plantation or other plantations are not having the capacity of holding that much, so it will easily allow the mud or soil to move to the lower altitude. So this is very easily GIS can understand, because the soil, when you are mapping the soil quality, soil depth, geology, everything we are taking into consideration, land use, land cover. Based on that, easily we can identify and we can alert the people. This may be the landslide zone. You can just replace for some time in the rainy season or like that. We can create awareness for the people. We can save the life also.
Ma'am, was this alert given earlier for any of the people or any of the population living there?
Yeah, we can give the alert, no?
No, was like after a study of this, was an effort made to give such an alert to the people so that we could minimize the
minimize the damage.
Yes.
Yeah, it's given actually.
It was given? It was
given? Yeah, it was given.
I see. Okay. The next question is from Jayalakshmipuram.
Yeah.
Is the government making use of this software, especially related with farmers who are facing the difficulty in irrigation?
Yes, actually, in all the Gram Panchayat, you can go and inquire. There is a GIS software, but there is no people to use it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Actually, this is a condition of India, because recently, the 30 years back only, the GIS is introduced to India, but in other countries, completely GIS-based management they are doing. All the land farmers, whatever they are growing, their income. If anybody wants to climb, see, in the any drought occurs or any crop loss is coming, means everybody is going and approaching insurances, right? But insurance people, they should know whether they are really affected by this drought or not, isn't it? Otherwise, the insurance company will be under the loss. So if they have a GIS, if they have a this kind of information, they can come to a conclusion whether how much percentage of loss has been occurred to this farmer, how much we have to give the insurance, like everything can be decided. And the problem is here in India, we have to implement everywhere. GIS software is there, all the MUDA in forest office, agriculture, everywhere GIS softwares are there. They are started using, but not completed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. We'll move on to the next question, ma'am. This question is from Kamala.
Yeah.
Present scenario, we are facing water scarcity. With the help of GIS, can we solve this problem?
With the help of GIS is a software. It will not solve anything. Whatever the conclusion we will draw from this maps or results, you have to think why, what is happening. Actually, I did my PhD in Arkavati River, which is in Bangalore. It was flowing when I was young. I was in second standard or third standard, but nowadays you will not find that there is a river. So it's completely vanished because of the urban growth of Bangalore. See, when we understand the problem, why it is occurring, why the river is not existing, why the inflow is reduced to the streams, so you can give the solutions, right?
Yes, I hope Kamala is.
So that has to be taken into consideration, because as per the IMD, the rainfall has not changed. Rainfall is increased from the last 100 years. But water is not coming into streams. It is going somewhere else. It is because of the changing in the land uses. See, everywhere, if you go to the tanks, it is a seasonal river. When the rain occurs, then only the river used to flow. Otherwise, it was a dried river. If one tank is full, it should move to the next tank. So the link between two tanks, if that is removed, the elevation is changed, there is no link between tank to tank. So that is why the water is not coming. So some problems will be there. We need to identify those problems using this software, and we have to give the solutions. Software will not give you, software will give you some ideas.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. That's true. It's all about the execution and practices humans practice.
Of course.
Actually implement. Okay, next question is from Raja Jain. How GIS impact on biological aspect? What is the impact of GIS on biological aspects?
So, as I told you earlier, GIS will not leave any field. It will take all the, it is having its influences or the applications on all the factors. So, biological factor is also there. All the plants or species, animals can also be monitored. If any, nowadays we are finding the sparrows are not there, right? So, why it is happening? it is because of the mobile towers. So if you keep on overlapping a different spatial layers one on another, we can find out what is happening to the biological factors, biological features.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, ma'am, next question is from Sharada.
Hmm.
Nowadays, everywhere they are doing, I mean, they are getting the borewell connection. So, what impact will that do on the land?
Definitely, it will do the impact on drying of the surface. See, everywhere earlier there was no restrictions for the digging a borewell. No need to take any permission from any concerned department. Nowadays, from 2000 onwards, I think the Mines and Geology department has taken initiated. We need to take permission from them, and then we need to dig the borewell. So if we keep on digging a borewell, if you are extracting it, so there is no recharge. So in Devnalli and Bangalore, the recharge is only 1 liter if you are extracting a 4 liters, right? In that case, the shortage of 3 liters is existing. So if you keep on doing the same thing continuously, the land completely will get dry. You will not get surface water. The atmosphere also will get dried and you will not get vegetation. Lots of its impacts will be there. So better to avoid the bore wells.
Okay.
Take the rainwater harvesting systems, even 30 by 30 or 30, 40 houses also can be implemented their rainwater harvesting system and they can use those waters.
Okay. I hope Sharada is listening to this. And I have a question, ma'am. How do we
Sure.
keep track of our geotagged photographs whenever we have an event in the college or in the institution-wise event?
Could you
So
please repeat?
what is your suggestion to record in the form of geotagged photographs?
Yeah.
What is
Geotag
the
photograph.
device? What is the device? Is it possible to record everything in terms of geotagged photographs in our mobile, through our mobile, or should we have a separate camera which has this special
No,
feature
actually,
to
that is a programming sector. It used to come. Geotag is a object-oriented program should be there. Using that only, we can geotag the photographs or videos, whatever you wanted to join for the map.
Okay, so when we are using our Facebook or Instagram, when we are tagging our locations, is it equivalent to geotag photographs or is that something else?
No, it is geotagged only.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. That is really interactive and very clear, in fact. Now I
Thank you.
request Dr. Chelu Rajaswamy, Assistant Professor, St. Joseph's College of Education, to deliver vote of thanks.
Yeah.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shalin Sanata. First, I would like to thank our first session person, Dr. Ramu, Associate Professor and Coordinator, Center for Geoinformatics, Talks in Geography, University of Mysore. You have shared informative knowledge about GIS with us. Once again, thank you so much, sir. The second, I would like to thank our second session person, Dr. Rekha HV, Assistant Professor, who have given new information about how to make use of GIS in teaching geography, which is new to all. Definitely, we will try to adapt in our teaching and learning process. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I would like to thank our management for their support to arrange this kind of webinar. And then I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Priya Matthew. She guided us to make this webinar success. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank our teaching and non-teaching staff for your cooperation. Thank you, one and all. I would like to thank our students and all participants. Without you, we would not have made this possible. Once again, thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request all the participants to please switch on your cameras so that we all can see you and take a webinar click of the day. We'll take around 2 minutes for this. We have about 113 to 115 participants now. So you have to take the photographs of all of you. Please switch on your cameras, video cameras for a while, say for about 2 minutes for a webinar click of the day. Okay, I hope the clicks are shot by our technical team. Yes, please mute the audio, mute the microphone. You can switch on only the cameras, video cameras. Thank you, one and all. For all the participants, the feedback form, the link of that feedback form will be sent in a few minutes. And please fill the form, and then you will be receiving your e-certificates. The feedback form will be sent very soon to all the participants. Please click on the feedback